on The Mandalorian. Previously on The Mandalorian. We talked about this last episode. Here, let me help. There we go.
I have no quarrel with you, Guardian Shard.
Oh, I wonder who's returning in this episode. Just once could we have a previously on that's a super non sequitur that has nothing to do with the episode I'm about to watch just to throw me off the scent. I'd sin it, but at least I'd be entertained.
Let's move the trade district closer to the shipping terminals.
That's a wonderful idea, High Magistrate.
Ah yes, this is what we've come here for. The riveting dialogue needed to redraw district lines. Let me pull out my corporate coffee cup and slide into my office chair to really get in the mood. Also, that's a terrible idea. You should put them on opposite ends of town and fill the route between them with booths, bars, and brothels. Give the traders what they absolutely don't need but will 100% spend their money on. Gasp! The pirates are back? Thank goodness I was prepared by the previous Leons. However, would I have been able to handle the shock of this sudden and unexpected development?
Shall I begin negotiations? No. If we buy them off, that'll set a bad precedent.
Perhaps, but wouldn't pretending to negotiate at least buy you some time? Not all negotiations have to be short, Karga.
You get the citizens to safety.
The fucking butler droid? I know Karga is short a lawman, but seriously, Nevarro has some sort of security or standing militia, right? How is the evacuation of the city being left to the droid that, last time we saw them, couldn't get his boss's title right? Also, imagine being so misguidedly vain that you commission a bust of yourself before hiring a personal security force. Why is this holo transmission thing set to like 100 times magnification? Does the incoming caller get to choose how intimidating they look based on the intent of the call?
Is that what you call gunning down my helmsman in cold blood?
He shot first.
Okay, Karga clearly shot first, and given Star Wars history with this sort of thing, I don't know if we're being deliberately trolled or not. The problem is I'd either sin it and get mocked for missing the joke, or ignore it and get blasted for missing a valid point. Regardless, I look forward to 20 years from now when that first episode is re-edited to show that Vane shot first, meaning that whatever I do, I'll end up being wrong for at least part of history.
Well, now I will shoot first.
No! That's still not right! You're shooting in response to his alleged shooting first, which means you're shooting second. Why is this so hard?
My charts indicate that Nevarro is an independent world.
Is this show attempting to make me believe that a central problem is whether or not Nevarro is independent? How do you expect me to care about that when this entire universe can't solve choppy holograms? This may be the worst I've ever seen. Look at it glitching. Obi-Wan, you're my only hoping a droid to get out of trouble cliché. This brave citizen who isn't going to allow an orbital bombardment to interrupt his lunch hour. Okay, being bombed by pirates is less than ideal, but look on the bright side. At least now people will visit the statue and simply assume that it was damaged in an attack, and you don't have to explain how part of it was brought back to life and tried to kill a child.
Send out a directive immediately.
Considering this droid's track record with delivering news, send out a directive immediately feels uncomfortably vague. I bet there are 1,000 possible directives to choose from, so what if everyone gets a today is an unscheduled trash day directive instead of a get the f out of Dodge before pirates redecorate your home from orbit directive?
Can I use your viewer?
Using a viewer to watch a hologram rather than pressing it to your forehead and opting for your far superior imagination to retrieve the message.
I'm gonna forward this to Coruscant. Request permission to intercede.
They haven't returned a dispatch in weeks.
And they posted me here for exclusively expositional purposes, just in case the bar's TV is showing pod racing instead of news position for once.
Then I'm just gonna have to go there and talk to them myself. They can't ignore me face to face.
They can, but they likely won't, because we need to connect this episode back to that random one where the nice man got his brain spaghettified. Heaven forbid that was in vain, whoever he was. If the show is asking me to believe that Teva's interested in helping with any sense of expediency, they forgot to direct him to walk faster than a browsing pace.
Do not put any more stuff on that part of the desk. That's my work area.
Droids, using your metal pin to store your extra throat lozenges.
I am humbly requesting the New Republic to send a
I get the gist.
And I also don't want the audience to have to listen to this twice. Also, the internet seems to think that get the gist came from a French legal term used in the 1600s. Always fun to find out that the internet's wrong and that this colloquialism actually has origins from an even longer time ago and from much farther away.
I'm going down to the commissary. Can I get you anything?
Like a warm serving of Imperial spy plotting to overthrow the New Republic? Or maybe a bagel? A bagel of betrayal?
We have a backlog of requests from member worlds that have priority. I don't even know if we have the resources.
He makes a great point. I mean, who's going to keep that Barney Delphi base in business if all those officers are sent on pesky rescue missions all the time?
And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Can anyone else smell the sweet yet obnoxious scent of a future previously on being sinned? I know I can. Officer Kane, are you okay? Why are you standing there looking like a self-satisfied villainous predator instead of getting back to work? Officer Kane, how's the rehab going? Hello? Wait, is that everyone? There's like a couple of dozen people here. How is that all of Nevarro? Why is this place so important if it's only home to a population smaller than most Broadway casts?
How did you manage to find us?
Fortunately, someone I served with in the rebellion is amongst your ranks.
That's a weird way of saying, fortunately, you're all dumbasses and didn't think twice about keeping this Republic droid around. Also, how does Teva even know that Din took the scaredy droid from Pelly? Did she have to sign it over at the droid version of the DMV? This is the world-building shit we need to know, Favreau.
I gotta help the guy.
You can't do it alone.
Can't he, though? I mean, he's faced worse odds without the help of other Mandos. He managed to escape Moff Gideon and an army of stormtroopers with little more than Cara Dune, Grief Karga, Grogu, and an exploding droid. And look, Karga's already there, Grogu's with him, Bo-Katan is the new, less problematic Cara Dune, so all he really needs is a droid to blow up.
And our children can feel what it is to play in the sunlight.
Before they're hidden from said sunlight by having their heads encased in helmets they aren't allowed to remove, of course.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
I do.
I love how a community that's defined by its ability to follow a strict set of rules can't be trusted to not talk unless there's an appointed talking hammer situation at play.
Why should we lay our lives down yet again? Because we are Mandalorians. This is the way.
This crowd is won over so easily they may have well been chanting, "What do we want?
Whatever the guy in front of us says we want.
When do we want it?
This is the way."
I'll use this to drop you in, and you will operate as a tight military unit.
Because I said so with such confidence, and that's worth 10,000 hours of training.
You lived there once, hiding in the sewers. But now, you can be heroes.
Making the assumption that anyone would want to be a hero rather than revel in the life of a glorious sewer rat shredder style. Think of all the pizza, if nothing else. I know pirates are going to pirate, but that was your buddy's food. Why waste snacks like that? Kick the server on their way back instead. That's the lesson here, I'm sure. How the f does that even happen? We know these ships have targeting sensors of some sort, so how did neither of them realize that they're being led into a friendly ship? Was a copy of the script blocking their sensors? Also, does Grogu really need to be on board for this shit? Leave him with Karga. Or f***ing anywhere that isn't a 10v1 dogfight. Straight up murder. Very nice of these chaps to politely not shoot Paz as he descends from the sky in the middle of the fight and allow themselves to be mowed down for the sake of entertainment. This individual has a jetpack.
Another engine down, and shields are failing.
Shields? What f***ing shields? What are the damn shields protecting if it isn't the damn engines? Listen, I never want to put a stop to hammer time, truly, but at some point this has got to backfire. Either she'll get caught off guard by an opponent with a range greater than 5 feet who doesn't have the situational awareness of an unharvested potato, or she'll damage/lose what I can only assume is a one-of-a-kind set of Beskar smithing tools. I know he doesn't have visible ears, but surely the Discount Gorn here has some sort of ability to detect sound or movement, right? How have I just now noticed that this giant-ass spaceship is being steered by a f***ing wheel? I mean, cool, but also how does that even work?
He's targeting the townspeople.
But in the most suspenseful way possible to give you plenty of time to take him out. Oh, so the Pirate King is just gonna let himself die over Nevarro? This seems like a very peculiar hill to plant your Corsair in. Retreat was 100% an option here, and a great one when there's just one engine between you and an overly kinetic reintroduction to a Nevarro mountain. Is that an actual pitchfork and an angry mob? We're not storming Beast's castle here. We're in a future with laser guns and starships. Why the f*** are you holding a pitchfork?
Do you respect my station? I do. Remove your helmet.
This might be the dickiest of dick moves to ever move a dick. Of course Bo-Katan is going to think this is a trick. And why put her in this position? The armorer could totally share this plan and then ask her to remove her helmet. This feels way more about the armorer swinging her hammer and tongs around than it does about anything else.
I was taught that the mythosaur existed only in legends.
Well, if that was true, then they would have called it the Legendosaur now, wouldn't they?
It's a fragment of Beskar alloy.
Are you saying that Moff Gideon was taken by Mandalorians?
No, he's saying that it's Beskar alloy. Now, you could make that leap, or you could acknowledge that the Beskar was left behind in the most obviously incriminating way possible so that it has to be a setup. But I have an odd suspicion they'll assume the worst. Space drama.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Well, sir, there's nothing on Earth like a genuine, bona fide, electrified 6-car monorail.
Orion Shard. I knew that Corsair looked familiar.
Now, what starts with the letter C? Cookie starts with C.
It often takes a new perspective before one is able to see the light.
Don't believe them. Don't trust them. They are dying. Let them die.
Does anyone else wish to speak? I'll use this to drop you in, and you will operate as a tight military unit.
My unit.
The boy who lived, come to die.
How you doing, fellas?
Stay in school and use your brain. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, carry a leather briefcase. Forget about sports as a profession. Sports make you grunt and smell. See, be a thinker, not a stinker.